Our next honoree has spent more than 4 decades giving to soccer. He is one of 4 award winners tonight from the Mountain State. I'm sure you'll hear his usual chant when he gets up here, I hope. I'm not stealing his thunder. He's the executive director of West Virginia Soccer Association. Dave is a championship-winning coach, claiming 3 Region 1 championships with the now West Virginia Rapids, a club that he founded. His credits also include 3 county championships with the Park Junior High School in only 5 years on the school's sidelines. From his first day as president of Beckley-Raleigh County YMCA Soccer Association, Meg, there's another mouthful, to his 3 decades as the executive director of West Virginia Soccer Association, the Mountain State and us at USYS owe many, many thanks to this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Laraba.
Wow. I understand the staff has an over-under on my speech, but they had to cancel it because everybody took the over. As Pete said, this has been a great night for West Virginia. We have 3 national winners. They work hard, and getting that kind of recognition for our small state is just fantastic. So congratulations again to Lloyd, Nate, and John. I wish to thank Dr. Pete and the board, and Roy and the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me for induction into the Hall of Fame. Thanks to Skip, Chris Webb, Jill Weiser, Emily Zach, and all the staff for all their help and support over the years. I want to say sincere congratulations to Joy and Lauren. It's humbling for me, who didn't play the game, to be inducted with 2 giants of the world of women's soccer. And I will tell you, I feel like a pair of brown shoes with a tuxedo standing up here. I don't belong. This is a journey, as Dr. Pete said, 40 years plus. And just like we've heard before, it started with our oldest son, Steve, brought home a little piece of paper that said soccer signups at the Watt. He and the boy next door wanted to play, so he said, okay, let's go. Little did we know what we were doing when we said that. But it started a lifelong adventure. And again, for many of you also, for the whole family, the Laraba family. Jane brought the baby Spike, and I started coaching. Jane was helping with concessions. As time evolved, Jane started coaching Spike's age group, and I got into administration. And continuing today, all 5 of our grandchildren have or are playing for what is now the YMCA of Southern West Virginia and Legacy Football Club. So that, to me, is what it's all about. The next step, again, we've heard it, was getting involved with the West Virginia Youth Soccer Association, Cups, and then some complaints, having a few ideas. I'm on the state board. In 1988, we saw the merger of West Virginia Youth and Adult Soccer Association, and I became the first president of West Virginia Soccer Association. So during this time, USYS Soccer Hall of Famer Dennis Brumfield and I did start coaching girls teams. We went to the Division II then in Region 1 Division II, okay, it was Division II, but we got a thing, it said regional champions. So I don't want to hear about it, okay? And we had a great time trying to get girls soccer started in West Virginia. Then, by being there and having an opinion, you think I have an opinion, I'm on Adele Delansky's Region 1 Cup Committee. That went along for a while, and Jane started helping, and Jane became a member of the committee. And in the 1980s, I was then appointed to then USYS Soccer Region 1 Appeals Committee and mentored by George Towner. That started a path that continues today. I served on the USYS Appeals Committee for over a decade, and when all the appeals were given to the Federation, I then became a member of the Federation Appeals Committee. And during the 90s, we would go to the workshops, the USYS committee, and we would have sessions like we're having this weekend, and we would teach people about, no, you can't tell somebody, you're suspended for 5 years. If you don't like it, call the Federation. Can't do that. But it happened back then. So we worked to do that back then. Traveled around to the state associations doing the same type of things. And in 2000, I became the first non-lawyer to be appointed chairperson of the Federation Appeals Committee. Continues today serving under Chairperson Hall of Famer Kathy Zolad and U.S. Soccer General Counsel Greg Fike. Evolved into also now with Safe Sport risk management under Allison Koukouris. Why 30 years in appeals, discipline, and player safety? It's not flashy. It's just not. It's behind the scenes. Every participant deserves a fair shake if they get in trouble. Every participant deserves it. The state associations, the clubs deserve to be able to have their rules and have them enforced, but they have to do it in a fair manner. It's important. And then for risk management and safe sport, if you get the call, as I have, Dave, we had a player, 9-year-old girl, die on the field for sudden cardiac arrest. You don't want that call. If we can save one player, it's worth it. And then we have the safe sport. If we can keep our player, we keep our players safe. It's job one. We have to do it. And if we don't do it, we're derelict in our responsibilities. Besides the appeals, I've served on the Leadership Development Task Force with Tim McCoy that now has evolved into the leadership seminars that we have now, and serving with Mike Barzalow and Joel Dragan on the Risk Management Committee, and the President's Cup Committee with Sean Fleming and now Beth Noss. So then, going back, 1994, Dennis Brumfield becomes president. My term is over. And he made the best decision that Dennis Brumfield has ever made in his entire life. He hired me as the first executive director of West Virginia Soccer Association. There weren't very many executive directors back then, but I had some great mentors, both as president and ED. And as he's been named tonight more than once, Jim Martella was somebody who brought me along. Kathy Zolad, another Hall of Famer, and Larry Monica. Some of you don't know those names. You've heard Jim's, you know Kathy, but they helped me become the person that I am. Dennis gave way in 2000 to Len Rogers, and Len has had the good sense to keep me as executive director for 24 years. Len and I have been friends for 30 years, still, imagine that, and it's been a great adventure these last 24. Lynn has encouraged me to continue to work with USYS, U.S. Adult Soccer, the Federation outside of West Virginia, and supported that, as has our board. I want to thank the West Virginia board, the staff, for their support over the years. Lynn had this bright idea that I almost was going to quit. I told him I was going to quit. In 2008, that we were going to host the East Regional Championships. So what are you, nuts? Well, that started a 16-year adventure that continues because we're hosting both NCS and President's Cup in June and July. Continues today. The best hosting story was the first year we did it, we had a 100-year flood the first day. All the fields were flooded. Some of you know that story. West Virginia State Senator Bob Plymouth, a good friend of Lynn's, called then West Virginia Governor Joe Manchin, and the next thing you know, a Black Hawk helicopter hovering, pushing the water off the fields. We got back on schedule. The Army National Guard got in trouble with the Department of Defense, but who cares? We were playing soccer, okay? I want to thank Lynn. Lynn is retiring this year after 24 years as state president, 31 years on the state board. He's been a great friend and mentor. We've had a lot of fun together. I've quit 27 times in 24 years, but he's been great for the sport in West Virginia, the East Region, and in USYS. Lynn, thank you very much. Many thanks to all the WVSA who supported me, and our Executive Vice President Randall Coleman, who's here tonight, and our staff, Linda Barnett, Christy Accord, Amanda Eller, Beth Noss, Marcus Cole, Susan McIntyre, Andrea Lilly, Judy Green, Travis Callahan, and many more. Thanks to all my colleagues that have helped, all the East Region EDs, past, present, and future, Jim Coots, Natalie Schwabel, and tonight's United Soccer Coaches Award winner, which we have to fix this so we can support each other, Louise Waxler. I would love to be there for Louise, but obviously we're here. In the end, yeah, it's coming to the end, my family gets the credit. This 40-year adventure, Steve and Spike getting interested, keep playing, putting up with every vacation, being a regional trip, an AGM, a workshop. They did enjoy going to Orlando and skiing in Salt Lake, but they put up with it. And it must not have been too bad because they continue in the family business. They're coaching their own children, Skylar, Rylan, Evan, Loretta, and Helena Jane. Helena Jane, get that part. The coaching club, rec, high school, whatever it takes, and also getting both of them into soccer administration. Gee, I love you both. I am so proud of the young men you have become and your dedication to growing the sport. And then, lastly, there's Jane. She's a West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Famer in her own right. She made her own path, but she's always been there with all the time that I spent working weekends, holidays, away from home, traveling around West Virginia and the United States. And with a June 15th anniversary date, we've spent a lot of them apart because of soccer season, regionals, and whatever. And most, in the last 35 years, almost all of them apart. We have 49 happy years, and maybe part of it's because we're not together a lot. She has said that. We make a great team. My love for you is as strong as it was in 1975. It's been an interesting ride, and it continues today. I will end with the words, Dr. Pete, here it comes, taught to me by a man who has been probably my most important supporter and mentor for me and for WVSA. He played college soccer at Davidson Elkin College in West Virginia. A lot of you don't know that. And he married a girl from Charleston, West Virginia, the great Hank Steinbrecher. When we ended our conversation right before Christmas, he said, leave them with this. The northernmost of the southern states, the southernmost of the northern states, the easternmost of the western states, the westernmost of the eastern states, born a bastard of the Civil War, West by God, Virginia.